All right, I call to order the special council meeting of August 21st, 2023. Sandy, please call the roll.
Bell.
Excused.
Gerhardstein.
Here.
Jaworski.
Here.
Koski. Here. Levon.
Here.
Solota. Here. Fielding.
Here.
Mayor update.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know this, just so it's out there. Me and Shalandra had a discussion. So we, as our finance department, we can always get things done and tread water, or we can move the city forward. I spoke with Councilman Jaworski a few months back about this, but we need to look at a assistant finance director. Now, we were gonna talk about it next year, next budget. Problem is, Beth, who is part-time, our payroll benefits coordinator, she's gonna be leaving us soon. And so that's why I wanted to get that out now to let you guys know. She's given notice that she'll be leaving in the next couple months. Every city has an assistant finance director. We're the only one. We had 2.5 up there. Teresa's doing a great job. She's really trying her best to, but we are so behind the 8 ball digitally, electronically, and we need to get ahead of that. So by having an assistant finance director, they will be able to pick up the slack that Beth did to do the payroll benefits and so much more, and we could start to move forward in the finance department. The last thing I want is her to get burnt out. She is handling it. She's been here 4 months, 5 months. And she's rocking it out, but she wants to move the city forward. And so I just wanted to put it out there. We've met, me, her, Jeremy, and we just want to get the conversation started. And what happened with the previous finance director, Ms. Stoles, she was in fear for her job at some point, and when she was asked if she could handle things, this was years, this was way before I was the mayor, if she could handle it without a payroll, she said yes. She didn't want to lose her job, but she was always cramming to get things done. So I just wanted to put it out there, and eventually, if, you know, we could start looking, and I just want to make that department great. That's all.
Councilwoman Slow.
Will that be a full-time position?
That would be a full-time position. And that's the other thing. Glad you said that I did want to mention. So we're looking at about 70,000 for that salary. If you add benefits, maybe about 85, but you're going to save 30 off of that, of what we're paying Beth. So the blow isn't that heavy. It'd be about 55 on top. So we looked into all the numbers, right around there. So if there's any questions for Shalandra, I just wanted to get that out there now.
Okay, so is a plan to put it out for hire, or is a plan to just have the discussion now and wait a few weeks and see what council's opinion is of this? As an adjustment to the budget?
We just wanted to mention it today,
Okay.
not even to have the discussion, so you can start thinking about it, and then we'll talk about it more in September.
Okay.
We know this is a special meeting. So.
All right, appreciate it. Councilman Jaworski?
So will there be a specific then job description, job duties, all that stuff created before this is put up or advertised out there as an open position?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've already started talking. Yeah, we've already started talking about it.
We never had that, if I'm correct, have we ever had a deputy assistant finance director here? No.
Yes, the head of the tax department would have filled that role way back, and that would have been Bill Reed for many, many years.
Then am I right? So, okay.
If you're looking for opinions, I'm a yes.
Well, that's good, and then at a council meeting, in a regular scheduled council meeting, we'll talk more.
We'll get more of a discussion, for sure.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mayor. Service Director, you have an update?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, school's gonna be starting next week, and we all know that the Rockefeller Road intersection is gonna be a nightmare. Just want to let you know, with the council, we've been in discussions with Pete, and the traffic people from CT, with the mayor, with the police chief, with Lieutenant Bush. So I think that a couple of council people have been involved. I think that the best thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to have my traffic guys there starting next week on Monday. I'm going to have my traffic guy there just controlling the intersection from 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll probably have somebody checking on the Euclid Avenue one as well, because I believe there's gonna be some issues down there at Euclid Avenue and Rockefeller as well. So we're just gonna kind of, first week or two, we're gonna play it off, see what happens, then we'll make a recommendation on what changes we make. The police department strongly suggests that we close off Buena Vista heading southbound. I'm heading northbound from 7 to 9 a.m., which we could do with just a couple of barricades, throw barricades up, leave them up for a couple hours. But there's a few councilmen that aren't for that, and I just feel let's see what let's play it by ear, see what happens, see how much actual traffic impact it has with the staggered starts and all that kind of stuff. So I'll have a guy there doing the best that he can. My traffic guy will be there doing the best he can, just changing the timing as needed, and we'll go from there and see what happens. I just wanted to let you guys all know. I'm sure that if there's an issue, that we're gonna get all kinds of calls and things like that, so I just wanna make sure everybody was on the same page. And if anybody has any recommendations, if you guys get calls, please call me, and, we'll try to address it as it comes. But I just at least wanted to, we all know it's gonna be a big change,
Okay.
We have a timing schedule set for the new system, and talking with our traffic engineers and whatnot, they suggested that we make those tweaks and then go from there with Greg and doing that. So we'll get with Greg and see what we can do to.
So the problem is any timing changes we make, because the system is so old and antiquated, it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week change. It's not just, we can't change it for just those couple hours in the morning or just those couple hours in the evening. So it has to be changed, because the system's so old. It gives you the opportunity to change it, but just not for any specific times.
All right, so Pete, go ahead, Pete.
No, and that's where the new controller will have all those bells and whistles and options.
Okay, so the school actually for both K through 12 total starts on the 31st. Is a plan to start this, the traffic control or the traffic hours changing next week or on the 31st itself?
I believe on Monday and Tuesday, there's gonna be some people going to school.
Tuesday and Wednesday, so Tuesdays.
Wednesday, so, right, yeah.
Tuesdays 7 through 12,
Right.
Wednesdays K through 6,
Right.
Thursdays
So I'll
everybody.
probably starting Tuesday, I'll have a guy there just to see, but I don't expect as much because it's only gonna be half the people there.
Right.
So I believe that, right, you're correct, Thursday is probably gonna be the heavy days.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we're gonna change the minutes or the timing on them starting at the beginning of the week, or are we starting it on the actual first day of school?
Yeah.
I was just trying to get an idea of that.
The time we change, I don't think they're gonna even notice that much, because it's already pretty much, it's close to the max from what I spoke with my traffic guy, it's not too far off of what it can be now, so we'll just monitor it and see what happens,
Councilwoman Soto?
So the whole closing out Bona Vista, how will that change the lighting? So if you did change northbound, then that light wouldn't function at all? And so you'd save that light
So
for traffic?
sort of, so what we were gonna do is, so there's a loop there, if you're heading northbound on Buena Vista, there's a loop. If you don't, right now, the way it's set up, if you don't trip that loop, it doesn't ever change.
Okay.
So it never changes. So if we just throw a couple of barrels on that, it's not gonna change the light.
Okay, that's
They're not
good.
gonna
Because
get
you
a
want to save
northbound
that
next to
light,
them.
'cause that's just.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's why we kind of came up with that barrel plan. Look, if they can't sit on it to change it, it's never gonna recognize it, it's not gonna change. The only thing that we can do is when it does change, shorten the time that it changes for and lengthen the time before it actually changes, okay?
Right.
When you're sitting on the loop, all right? So when you're sitting on that loop, you can make it from, change in 30 seconds, you can make it change in 2 minutes. And that's what we have, that's our options that we have to work with, you know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna just adjust, and we're gonna play it by ear and see what happens,
Councilman Jaworski?
Couple things. If you do decide to go that route, you have to give the residents on Buena Vista some kind of notice.
We will, yeah. We're just gonna, that's why we're gonna play it by ear with this timing by hand, so we're just physically doing that. And then because we've already gotten multiple calls from people on Buena Vista that want to know what we're doing and things like that. Until we know we have a firm play, we can't really tell them anything,
Right. The other question I have then, and this goes back to this whole ODOT mess that they've created for us here. The money's come in for this project end of November, correct?
Yes.
So that being said, how soon can we get the traffic portion of this done and complete? I mean, can we start the traffic lights and get that stuff done and then go back and deal with the island aspect of it?
Ooh.
Or is that gonna mess everything
I
up?
don't think so, yeah, I think we're gonna, I mean, once ODOT lets out the contractor, he has the thing, we're talking, it's not gonna be till the end of November. And then we're gonna have to meet with them over the, you know, before the end of the year, and get their schedule as far as when they're gonna be able to do the program. We're under their thumb on that.
As a matter of fact, that legislation that you're voting on today, that's giving
That's-
them the approval to run the project.
Right now, we're still waiting in limbo until we get this legislation back.
Right.
As far as ODOT goes, as far as ODOT putting it out to bid, they won't do anything until he gets that legislation. They have that in their hands.
But, let me rephrase it. Once the legislation is signed and all that goes out, there's no way that we could tell the contractor, hey, you're gonna start on the traffic signaling, on the traffic signalization first, get that done, and then do the concrete work.
We can always ask, we can always suggest, Matt. The biggest time thing to get the equipment is gonna be the controller. It's gonna take them 9 months to get the darn controller. Or not, I'm exaggerating, maybe 6, whatever. I mean, we ordered a controller back in February, March, because we thought, let's order this controller, this way come September, bam, we have it, let's go, right? Then we went to ODOT, and ODOT, we said, we already ordered the controller, you don't even have to have that in your plans, just reimburse us. They said, no, we're not gonna reimburse you. And I said, you don't get a controller then, you buy your own controller. I mean, well, then we're gonna give us the money to reimburse us, so now we have an extra controller for Euclid in Rockefeller, so that we can do that programming and make it work.
Mayor?
Yeah,
It's
so,
non-cooperative.
Councilman Jaworski, seems like everywhere I go lately, I'm running into Buena Vista residents. And they do not want anything shut down, ever. They don't want to go around. And I told them, listen, once we know exactly if their road is gonna get affected, we're either gonna send a letter, I'm gonna just go door to door. And I know I'm not gonna reach everybody on there, someone won't be home, but we're gonna let them know, and maybe even give them an opportunity to come to a meeting to, you know, because everybody's got an idea. Well, why don't you guys do this and that? I got the top guys on here coming up with the best plan. Council, I mean, we spend a lot of time doing this. The school has not helped us and what our thought process is going to be for what we're gonna do here. So I told them, just be patient, and I even told Ron, or Pete, I said, if it's not that bad when school starts, do we have to do anything over there? And we do.
We do. We're gonna.
Because the numbers say it's gonna be,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's not gonna be fun for Buena Vista, either way they're gonna be.
No,
But
all
it's
the
not
residents
gonna be
in that
horrible.
area that use that intersection, it's gonna be bad.
Yep.
After the meeting, I'd love to sit down and show you guys this drawing a little bit, and show you how big that intersection is. We're widening it up for Buena Vista residents. They're gonna be able to scoot in and out. The only time it's gonna be tough is during that rush hour,
Yeah.
school rush hour. It's the only time.
I absolutely agree.
Every other time, they'll be able to zip in, zip out, just like going to Wisconsin.
Councilman Garrett's time.
No, I'm good. He kind of answered my question, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the update. Move on to legislation.
All right. Ordinance number 2023-33, this is the third reading, even though it is an emergency. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into an LPA federal ODOT LET project agreement for signal and intersection improvements at State Route 84, Rockefeller Road, Buena Vista Drive, and State Route 84, Lincoln Road in the city of Wickliffe, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension,
It can be adoption. It can be adoption.
adoption,
Would you want to second it?
second.
All right. Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilman Jaworski to adopt ordinance 2023-33 as presented. Discussion? Councilman Garrettstein.
So Pete, as what you just said about this, we're agreeing to this contract, they're paying 100% of the bill for this.
Oh, they're paying.
It says 100, this ordinance says they're paying 100% of the cost.
I believe that's the engineering firm? or no?
Oh, the engineer, we're paying 100% of the engineering. The sheet, yeah. Let me get it. I got my numbers right here.
So According to this ordinance, I mean to cut off your question. Are we the LPA? Is the city the LPA that handles all the
City is the
pre-engineering?
LPA.
We're the preliminary engineering, the right-of-way, and the environmental documentation. That is all us. That's paying 100% of those
Right.
costs.
Right.
And there's no, okay, so I understand that part, and there's actually, as we agree to this, there's no drawing that is 100% the way the street looks, is going to look. Is that what you guys just said a minute ago, that whenever you guys do, you're going to let the residents know when you finally decide what you're going to do with
We
it?
know exactly what we're gonna do. The plans are here, they're submitted to ODOT. The city share for this project, and this $407,000 project, the city share is $124,300. NOACA or ODOT share is $282,850. Anything over that 282 is gonna fall back on the city.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
No.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 2023-34. Excuse me, an ordinance amending the city of, and this is the third reading. An ordinance amending the city of Wickliffe zone map referred to in section 1341.80 of the Wickliffe codified ordinances, rezoning permanent parcel number 29-B-00-3-D-00-031-0, located at 1522 East 100th Street, Wickliffe, Ohio, from R150 Single Family Residential District to GB General Business District.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilman Jaworski to adopt ordinance 2023-34 as presented. Discussion. Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
Want me to read it first?
Yeah, read it first, then we'll do it.
Ordinance number 2023-35, an ordinance authorizing a change order to the contract with TC Construction Company Incorporated for the Wickliffe 2023 Pavement Improvements Program, Contract B, concrete repair, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gerardstein.
I'd like to amend the ordinance to follow the estimate. So I'd like to amend the ordinance to say the amount of $46,584.
I'll second that motion. So moved by Councilman Gerardstein, seconded by Councilman Levon to amend 2023-35, Section 1, to be the total amount not to exceed $46,584. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Suspension. This is first reading, right?
Yes.
Suspension.
Oh, suspension, I'm sorry.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-35 amended on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt ordinance 2023-35 amended as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2023-36, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of one new 2023 model year single axle cab and chassis with requested equipment for use by the Service Department of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio through the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-36 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Steelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Saloto, seconded by Councilman Gerardstein to adopt ordinance 2023-36 as presented. Discussion? Councilman Jaworski.
Ron, just one question. When would this truck be delivered?
We're probably looking at 6 to 9 months.
Thank you.
Ron, is that perchance why you put 110,000, why the thing is at 103,000? Will we get it for 103,000? There's a chance it may jump up.
So most likely so. So this is the way that it works now with the dealers. So the dealers have basically been playing a shell game. So what Freightliner tells the dealer, this is all state per contract pricing, this is what we're gonna get. Freightliner tells the dealer, hey, you can order up to 30 trucks. Once they actually physically get that order, they put these 30 trucks in. Well, then they wait until they get caught up in production and say, okay, now we'll let you order another 20. So once I give him this information tomorrow, tomorrow, and hopefully we can order the truck, they do have 2 slots left open. So unless somebody bought 2 trucks today, I don't know. If not, I'll have to wait for the next round before I can actually order it. That's why I put it in the 110. That gives us a thing, just in case in the meantime there's a price increase, a model year change, something like that, that kind of gives us a little bit of flexibility that I can still purchase this truck. But yeah, everybody's on allotments now. You don't even, have a choice. You have to tell them, they can't do anything until they have that purchase order in their hand, and they can't say, hey, I'll save you this truck. They can't do that. So it's crazy. So that's why they did that way.
Okay, so I thought.
So I'm assuming that 102,000 is going to be the correct price.
Okay. Any further discussion on the adoption? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2023-37, an ordinance authorizing a change order to the contract of Specialized Construction Incorporated for the Wickliffe 2022 pavement repair program, contract C, Fairway Drive, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Sloto to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-37 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Sloto to adopt ordinance 2023-37 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2023-38, an ordinance providing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio for the period beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Sloto, seconded by Councilman Thielman to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-38 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes. Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilwoman Sloto to adopt ordinance 2023-38 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2023-39, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into a contract with JD Striping Services Incorporated for the striping and sundry streets in the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Sloto, seconded by Councilman Gerhardstein to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-39 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Sloto, seconded by Councilman Gerhardstein to adopt ordinance 2023-39 as presented. Discussion? Councilman Gerhardstein.
Will these be done out? Do you know when this time frame is on the striping?
We actually gave them a deadline at the end of September, I think it was.
All right, thank you.
We're hoping it's done quicker.
Any other discussion on the adoption?
These are the sundry streets.
Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solotra.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Resolution number 2023-11, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Fraternal Order of Police regarding the lateral transfer of experienced police officers and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilman Jaworski, to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-11 as on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilman Jaworski, to adopt resolution 2023-11 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Resolution number 2023-12, resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into a settlement agreement and release with the Fraternal Order of Police Blue Unit regarding a healthcare insurance settlement and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, second by Councilwoman Sloto, to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-12 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
No.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Suspension passes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilman Jaworski, to adopt resolution 2023-12 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
No.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Resolution number 2023-13, a resolution establishing the Wickliffe Commercial Renovation Reimbursement Grant Program for 2023 and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Sloto, to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-13 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Sloto, to adopt resolution 2023-13 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
I'll entertain a motion to move in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Jaworski, seconded by Councilman Gerhardstein, to move into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, or compensation of a public employee or official and the purpose of pending or imminent court action. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Thank you. Yep. Let's take a 5-minute break.